Irontrap garage working on Andrew's first hot rod project. So the last video you saw where we scavenged this Crossmember from my pile of parts. Andrew got it all split apart and we braced the frame up, and we are now ready to start pulling the old Crossmember out and hopefully get the new one slid in this part of the project. So we got that going today. We did a little bit of picking this morning. So
I picked up a set of rear wheels. They're all reverse center wheels off of like a hot rod or a dirt car or something. Perfect for what I need to put a cheater slick on the back of this thing and do some burnouts. So.
Yeah, the place we went picking at was an old guy's been an old dirt racer for his whole entire life, and he had an attic full of old wheels, and we were up there digging around, and Andrew had been saying he wanted to put the old style cheater slicks on. And really the perfect thing for that guys were doing back in the day is reversing the wheels. Now you can buy wider reproduction wheels from Speedway or some of the vendors. They're pretty cool, but the thing is they're not true reversed wheels. They are built with the lip the same way that it is, it's supposed to be. On these you can tell that they're reversed wheels by the way the back of the dish of the wheel is. You can tell it's actually the back of the wheel where they reversed it around. So that's really cool. One of those neat little details that you can tell that it's vintage, old, original stuff with those little details. So he wanted some chrome ones, but I think these are actually in the end going to be a lot cooler. So that's another piece of the puzzle, and the best part, what did you pay for them?
$30.
$30 for the pair of them. So I was buying a whole pile of old stuff. If you follow my Instagram at Irontrap, I posted a photo on my Instagram of the pile of stuff we got today, and we just threw them in on the pile, and I just asked the guy what he wanted for them. It was $15 a piece, totally fair. Andrew's got some cheap wheels, so he's staying in that low budget, getting the cool old parts just with doing some digging around. So we're going to work on getting that Crossmember out and start making this frame a little more solid.
Alright, so we drilled out all the rivets on the other Crossmember. Came out surprisingly easy, didn't have to fight it that hard. I cleaned out most of the rust and grime from in there, dusted some rust encapsulator in it because we're never going to see that area again once the Crossmember's in. And then we cleaned up some of the bolt holes on this and opened them up so we can put some bolts in it to locate the Crossmember, and then we will cross measure again to make sure it's in the right spot and tack it in.
Yeah, we should be good to go without too much work. Now, just to elaborate on the bolt thing, that was kind of a last minute idea I decided to do. Since we had all these rivet holes were in nice shape, we saved them. I decided to just open these up just a hair, one on the top on either side and one on each side. And that will get us in, and once we get a cross measure and we're happy with where the measurement is, we can crank those bolts down nice and tight, and that way we don't have to worry about anything moving around on us as we're about to weld, or when we put those first welds on, it's going to help from keeping anything, keep it from shifting. So just some extra precautions. Isn't necessary, but it's a nice thing to do just to keep it, everything in its place as you're welding. So we're going to tap this in here and start doing some measuring, and you're going to start welding.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got the cross member bolted in place. As you saw, we just used the hammer a little bit just to tap it around. We got it really, really darn close, and it's pretty much as good as it's going to get for this old thing. So now what we want to do is check the caster. We checked before we took the cross member out. In the last video we may have shown that. Just to make sure that the caster of the original cross member was what it was supposed to be. So generally it's about 6 degrees caster, which means that the front cross member is leaned back just a few degrees, so that the caster or the axle will also lean back in that about 6 degrees. So we wanted to make sure that it matched what it was originally. So first thing we're going to do is put it on the frame, make sure that we are moving everything around. This should be about level here again. How's that look? Pretty good?
Yep.
Okay. So that's good. So now what we can do is put it on the spring mount here, and last time we were getting about 6 degrees of caster, so the cross member was leaned back about 6 degrees there.
Looks dead on.
Perfect. So that means that when we tighten everything up, this cross member isn't twisted. Something you want to check for sure is just make sure that this cross member that we're putting in didn't get some kind of tweak in it over the years of it being used, because we're, again, using old parts to put this back together, and it looks good. So now that we made sure the caster is correct, we cross-measured, this is all good for the cross member. We bolted this down tight so that it can't move. Andrew's ready to plug weld these holes up. Now one thing that we found that was a kind of a surprise to me, these holes actually didn't line up. The 3 holes didn't all line up exactly. So we used the center bolt holes that I drilled open, luckily, to locate it, because they're right in the center of the cross member. But these outside ones, they actually didn't line up, which was kind of surprising. But anyways, we can plug weld through the top here into the cross member, fill it up, that'll weld it to the cross member, and we can also weld the ones on the side, and that will get this thing in here and nice and solid again. So, got the Crossmember all welded in. How'd it go? What do you think?
It went good. We put the bolts in, cross measured, tightened it down, and plug welded it. Finish welded it. It's done. Solid.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Andrew did pretty good with plug welding. He had a lot of practice on the Sweetheart Roadster with filling all those excess holes. So just a little bit of coaching to kind of remind him, and it's like riding a bike.
Yeah, you do it once and you can do it forever.
So we got this all in. It's not a brand new, super nice Crossmember, but it's a good usable one. And the key is it cost him $0. It was out of the extra parts pile on the side of the shop. And now we got a frame that's something you can work with. It's not falling apart, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So now once we start gathering some parts, we can start building this thing up. You got your wheels now for the back.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about that. And we can start just gathering things together. So as always, we do videos on Sundays now on Andrew's first hot rod project. Tuesdays on the Free T. Fridays are Sweetheart Roadster, whatever else is going on. Again, if any of you guys have a lead on a affordable 2627 Model T coupe body, that's what Andrew's looking for. Not asking for free, just looking for a lead on a good usable one that isn't $1 million. So we appreciate anything you guys can help out with. So thanks again, guys. Catch you later.